What if the greatest weapon against climate change isn't a new technology, isn't a government policy, and isn't even something we have to build? What if it's already growing right now, quietly and powerfully, in places we never expected? Forests are coming back, and scientists just discovered something extraordinary about them that changes everything we thought we knew. For decades, the conversation around tropical forests has been dominated by one devastating headline after another: deforestation, burning, land clearing. And the numbers are genuinely heartbreaking. Millions of acres of irreplaceable forest lost every single year. Carbon pumped into the atmosphere. Species wiped from existence before we even had a chance to document them. It felt like we were losing a war that the planet couldn't afford to lose. But here's what the headlines weren't telling you. While destruction was happening in one corner of the world, something remarkable was quietly unfolding in another. Abandoned farmlands, overgrown pastures, degraded hillsides. In these forgotten, overlooked places, tropical forests were growing back, and they were doing it fast, faster than anyone expected. And a growing body of scientific research is now telling us that these regenerating forests, sometimes called secondary forests, are a far bigger climate asset than we ever gave them credit for. A landmark study published in the journal Science found that young, regrowing tropical forests absorb carbon dioxide at rates up to 11 times faster than old-growth forests. Let that sink in. 11 times faster. These aren't ancient, undisturbed jungles. These are scrappy, energetic, second-chance forests, fighting their way back through cracked soil and reclaiming land that was once written off as lost. Researchers mapped secondary forests across the tropics in Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia, and what they found was staggering. These regrowing forests are currently covering an estimated 2.4 million square kilometers of land, an area larger than Mexico, and together they're soaking up enormous quantities of carbon that was previously not even factored into our global climate models. The reason these young forests are such carbon-capturing powerhouses comes down to biology. When a forest regenerates, trees are growing rapidly, building wood, roots, and leaf canopy at an explosive pace. Every cell being created is pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and locking it into living tissue. Old-growth forests are spectacular, irreplaceable ecosystems, but their carbon uptake has stabilized over centuries. Young forests, by contrast, are in overdrive. But here's where it gets even more exciting and more important. Scientists are now discovering that forests are beginning to regrow in entirely new areas. Climate zones that were once too dry, too seasonal, or simply unsuitable for dense tropical vegetation are shifting. Rainfall patterns are changing, and in some regions, that's creating unexpected windows of opportunity where forest regeneration is now possible in places it hasn't been seen in living memory. This doesn't mean climate change is a good thing, it absolutely is not. But it does mean that nature, given even a small chance, is remarkably resilient. If we protect the areas where forests want to grow back, if we stop clearing land that is already beginning to regenerate, we could be looking at one of the most cost-effective and scalable climate solutions on Earth. The economic argument is just as powerful as the environmental one. Letting forests regrow naturally is essentially free. No massive infrastructure, no complex carbon capture machines, no waiting decades for technology to catch up. The forests are ready to do the work right now. All they need is the space and the protection to do it. Now, if content like this resonates with you, if you want to stay informed, stay inspired, and actually understand the science behind the planet's recovery, there are incredible resources out there to help you go deeper. Whether you're looking for documentaries, research breakdowns, books on regenerative ecosystems, or tools that help you personally track and offset your environmental impact, the right resources make all the difference. We'll link some of our top recommendations in the description below, including platforms and services that align with the kind of thoughtful, evidence-based environmentalism this channel is built on. Check those out. Even small actions, like choosing the right brands or supporting the right organizations, compound over time, just like a regrowing forest. So what does all of this mean for the bigger picture? It means that despair is not the only story. It means that alongside the genuine crisis of deforestation, there is a parallel story of recovery, resilience, and possibility unfolding in real time. It means that our climate models need to be updated, our conservation priorities need to be expanded, and our sense of what's possible needs to grow. Protecting primary forests must remain the absolute top priority. Nothing replaces what took thousands of years to develop, but layering in the protection and encouragement of secondary forest regeneration could multiply our climate impact in ways the science is only beginning to fully appreciate. The forests are fighting back. The question is whether we'll fight alongside them. Share this video with someone who needs a reason to stay hopeful. Subscribe for more stories about the planet's extraordinary capacity to heal. And remember, the best time to protect a growing forest was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now.